Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into a really powerful Portuguese legend. It's a story packed with love, betrayal, and a curse so strong it literally scarred the land itself.
So, a question like that, it really gets you thinking, right? Well, our story starts right there, in the ancient castle of Ródão. This was a Visigoth fortress sitting right on the banks of the river Tejo, smack dab on the frontier between shifting kingdoms and different faiths. So, you've got this powerful ruler, King Wamba. But here's the thing about being a king back then. His duties, fighting wars, going on long hunts, they took him far away from home. And that meant his queen was often left to govern the entire kingdom all by herself for long, long stretches of time.
And it's during these long, lonely absences that the queen starts a secret, forbidden affair. And her lover? A Moorish king who ruled his kingdom from the other side of the great river Tejo. Now, for a Christian queen, this wasn't just adultery. This was a huge deal, a transgression that crossed deep cultural and religious lines. So you have these two worlds, right, on opposite sides of the river. And that very river, the thing that was supposed to be a border separating them, actually became the thing that connected them. The legend says they would sit in these stone chairs on their own shores, carrying on their secret romance right across the water.
And eventually, this passion for the Moorish king just completely took over. It overwhelmed all of her loyalty, and she made this fateful, incredible decision to leave everything and everyone behind for a new life with him. Now, you can imagine what happens when King Wamba finds out about this betrayal. He was absolutely furious. But he was also incredibly clever. Instead of just rushing into a big, bloody battle, he came up with a very cunning plan for revenge.
Wamba's plan was not about brute force. It was all about strategy and deception. He had his entire army hide near the enemy's capital, all of them just waiting, listening for a single specific sound.
So, with the trap all set, Wamba puts his plan into motion. He's disguised as a simple, humble pilgrim, and he makes his way right into the heart of his enemy's territory.
And just like that, he comes face to face with his queen. She knew it was him immediately, but here's where it gets wild. She doesn't expose him. Instead, she plays along, telling the Moorish king she's taken a prisoner, and she hides Wamba in her own chambers. So now Wamba's a prisoner, and his entire elaborate plan is hanging by a thread. He makes a simple final request of his enemy. He asks if he could just be allowed to play his corna, his horn, one last time before whatever fate was in store for him. The Moorish king, probably thinking, what's the harm in that, grants his request. And the second Wamba sounds that powerful blast from the horn, his waiting warriors storm the castle. They completely overwhelm the Moorish army and drag the queen all the way back to Ródão. But this was no happy reunion. Her rescue was really just the beginning of her judgment. A trial was called to decide what to do with her. And the suggestion for her punishment, it came from the most shocking person you could possibly imagine, her very own youngest son. And the justice waiting for her was just cold and brutal. The council agreed with the boy. This would be her sentence. When she heard this unbelievably cruel sentence coming from her own family and her own people, the queen didn't beg, she didn't ask for mercy, no. Instead, she unleashed a final, powerful curse on the kingdom she once ruled. Her last words weren't a plea, they were a condemnation. Goodbye, Ródão. It will not have honorable women, nor crowned priests. It was her final, defiant act. And they say, to this very day, the path her body took as it tumbled down that hillside remains completely barren. It's like a physical, permanent scar left on the landscape by her rage and by her curse. So what are we left with? What is this story really? Is it a tale about righteous justice for a traitor? Or is it something more? A timeless warning about the destructive power of passion, betrayal, and a fury so strong it can literally poison the very earth.